Hey friends, it's Jacqueline for Pixie Dust PhD. All Walt Disney World owned and operated hotels offer free transportation to and from the parks, and even many off-site hotels offer some form of free transportation. With free transportation available, do you even need to rent a car? Today we'll be going over some pros and cons of renting a car during your Walt Disney World vacation. Ultimately, no, you don't need to rent a car, particularly if you're staying at a Walt Disney World hotel. All of the on-property hotels offer free transportation to and from the parks, and you can even take a free bus to and from Orlando International Airport. I just did a video going over the basics of free transportation at Walt Disney World. Go ahead and click the card to learn more. And while you may not absolutely need to rent a car in order to get around, renting a car may be a consideration for you, just like with any other non-Disney vacation. Let's go over some points to think about when considering renting a car. First, on many people's minds when planning your Walt Disney World vacation is cost. Obviously, renting a car will be an additional cost for you. You'll have the cost of the rental itself as well as gas, and then any parking fees incurred at your hotel. Additionally, if you're staying off-site, you'll also have to pay to park at the theme parks themselves. So compared to using the free transportation at Walt Disney World, if you're staying on property, cost is kind of a no-brainer. The cost is significantly more if you're going to rent a car. 2. Driving. Walt Disney World property is absolutely massive, and if you rent a car, you will have to navigate your way around the property. There are, of course, signs on the road pointing you what direction to go, and Google Maps is a great tool. However, driving can just be an added stressor to your vacation that you may not necessarily want. The frustration of driving around may be the tipping point for bringing you out of that wonderful Disney bubble. With the free transport, of course, you don't have to worry about driving, and you can maintain your perfect Disney bubble with Disney music blasting the whole way through. So, of course, if you want to avoid driving, renting a car may not be your best option. 3. Freedom. Renting a car gives you the freedom to go anywhere you please. Do you want to hit up a cheaper meal in town? Are you interested in doing a Target run to load up on snacks? Or do you want to do a day trip out to Universal or other attractions in the Orlando area? Certainly, having a rental car will make this exponentially easier. While Disney does offer free transportation, that transportation is Disney-centric, meaning they're aiming to keep you on their property so you're spending your money only at Disney. Disney World free transportation certainly won't be taking you to and from the nearest fast food chain to save some money or a grocery store to stock up on snacks. They would much rather have you eating and dining on their property, be it in the parks, at resorts, or at Disney Springs, rather than spending your money elsewhere. And while Walt Disney World property is absolutely lovely, having a rental car gives you the option to leave property easily. So as far as freedom goes, if that's something you're interested in, a rental car beats the Walt Disney World free transportation easily. 4. Time and efficiency, particularly if you're staying at a hotel that's not adjacent to a park. The free Disney transportation, particularly the buses, is an excellent service. That being said, it can be relatively inefficient. It's not uncommon to be waiting a full 20 or more minutes for a bus to come. Disney is working on this by keeping on-site hotel guests more in the know as they can access the next bus time through the My Disney Experience app. That being said, you do have to keep an eye on that schedule, and you won't be able to just go anywhere whenever you please, like if you had a rental car. Also, if you're staying on-site, depending on which hotel that is, there may be multiple stops per resort. This, of course, adds time, but occasionally you'll also see buses fully at capacity, and if you're the last stop, you may not be able to get on. In particular, trying to leave the parks at park close on a bus back to your hotel can be a real hassle. The lines are long, the buses are crowded, and you may have to wait for several buses. If you've had a super long day, that delay can add to your stressors when all you want really is to go back to your hotel and shower and get to bed. All of this is contrasting to if you had a rental car and you were driving that around. This goes back a little to point 3, your freedom. You're free to go and come as you please. You don't have to wait for a bus schedule or a Skyliner or a monorail or anything. You can simply just go to your car and drive off to wherever you want to be. This added efficiency with a rental car, I think, is particularly useful if you're the type of person who wants to take a midday break. Meaning that in the morning you leave for the park, and then sometime in the afternoon, usually between 12 and 4, depending on your party, you want to go back to the hotel and either hang out at the pool or take a rest, etc. And then after you've been back at the hotel for a couple hours, you go back out to the parks. So that's 2 full round trips to and from the parks. Increased efficiency with a rental car can save you a boatload of time when you're considering 2 full round trips to and from the parks each day. 5. Park arrival. At Magic Kingdom, hands down, the Walt Disney World free transportation system wins. If you're taking a free bus or monorail from your resort to the Magic Kingdom, you'll get dropped off at the Magic Kingdom proper. If you're driving or taking a rideshare, you will be left at the Transportation and Ticket Center. And from the Transportation and Ticket Center, you'll have a short walk over to a hub where you can catch a ferry boat or a monorail and sometimes a bus over to the Magic Kingdom. Basically, from the Transportation and Ticket Center, you cannot just walk into the Magic Kingdom. You will have to take another mode of transportation to get to the park itself. This means that your rental car or rideshare transportation to and from the Magic Kingdom actually takes a super long time because there is an entire next step after you're done with the car part of your journey. This caveat only exists for the Magic Kingdom though. For all the other parks, you're parking in a parking lot adjacent to the theme park itself and you just walk in like normal. So other than the Magic Kingdom, as long as you're not staying at a resort that's a walkable distance to the theme park, on average you're probably going to save some time driving to the theme park, parking, and walking in, rather than waiting for a free mode of transportation, potentially making multiple stops within your resort, and then heading to the theme park. That being said, if you're at a Skyliner resort, Disney's Skyliner gondola system is actually incredibly efficient when it's loading properly, and that will be even driving. 6. Leaving the parks. We touched on this a bit earlier. When you're leaving the parks right as a nighttime show ends, there's really a mass of humanity all exiting at the same time. Some of those folks are going to their personal or rental cars. And unlike at major sporting events where you can find yourself sitting in a parking garage forever waiting to leave, Disney is actually incredibly efficient at getting cars out of their parking lots. If you happen to make it on the first bus back to your resort, that's great, A+. If you don't, you're going to be waiting a little bit. Disney does typically employ a lot of buses towards park close, so hopefully you won't find yourself waiting for a super long time, but there will be some added time. However, the hectic nature of using the Walt Disney World free transportation system at park close really only applies if you're leaving in that same moment that everybody else is. Note that the parks stay open usually about an hour after the official close. This is so you have time to shop and spend more money at Disney. So if you do want to minimize crowds, which for me also means minimizing my anxiety when using the free buses to get back to your hotel after the parks are closed, just hang out in the parks for a while, get some awesome pictures when the crowds are lower on Main Street, do your shopping, and then go ahead and take the free transportation. Like most aspects of a Walt Disney World trip, whether or not you rent a car will really depend on your party's preferences. What matters more to you? Do you want that enhanced freedom and efficiency while sacrificing the cost as well as maybe bursting a bit of your Disney bubble? Let folks know in the comments down below if you do or do not rent a car when you head to Walt Disney World and why. What are the big decision factors for you? If you found this video helpful, I hope you'll leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and ring the bell to turn notifications on to see whenever I post new videos. And if you want to interact with me in a more informal manner, go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at PixieDustPhD. I post there a lot more regularly than I upload videos to YouTube, and it's also way more unstructured for me, so you'll get a better sense of my personality. Until next time, we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.